I think that's all you need is 3 to 5 years where you go, okay, no women, nothing to do with women, no Tinder, no going on Instagram and even looking at pictures of women and be like, damn, that's a fat ass. Cut all of that out and just focus on nothing but you, yourself, and just dedicate to a business, to a 9-to-5 job in the gym, like whatever it might be. You know, get rid of porn, get rid of masturbation, everything. You should be doing that anyway, but get rid of that guaranteed in those 3 to 5 years completely and just go for it. Hello guys and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about how maybe you should consider ignoring women for 3 to 5 years. Now I'm deadly serious and I practice what I preach, so I've done at least 3 years in my life where I've ignored women as much as I could. Not all at the same time, I did do 2 years, but I did fragmented 3 to 6 month periods where I completely ignored women, anything to do with women, relationship, sex, whatever it might be, in pursuit of success or finding myself or building a better life for myself or being in the gym relentlessly and just being selfish with my time. The reason I'm making this video is because I'm looking at doing another 6 months, year or 2 years at this current point in my life. And I'm 28. By 30, I want the clothing business in place. I want to have 100,000 subs minimum on my YouTube and other platforms, website back to where it used to be when it was MSI College. And I want, most importantly, the streaming platform completely built. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to have to be really selfish. There's going to be a lot of sacrifices being made, and I think sacrificing women might be worth it in the long term. It's always helped me in the past. I think it's going to help me moving forward in the future, and it might be the last time I ever have to do it. And then off the back of that, you know, every single woman that you're dating, attracting is model, whatever, Victoria's Secret model, whatever you want to do, you know, top level woman, whatever your thing is, whatever your kink is, you know, you go for it. But personally, to me, I think it's going to be the last time I ever do it, and that's why I wanted to kind of reinforce this message with you guys. So now it's going to sound strange. Now, a lot of you guys know that I've always promoted a man should be single for longer in order to become successful. I think it's just become my second or third best video of all time. It was the best for a long time, but the Tommy Shelby body language videos have skyrocketed and overtook them in a short space of time. They've hit like 15,000 views in a couple of months. It's crazy. Thank you for that. But that video was my best one for a long time, and it's for a good reason. I think a lot of guys agree with that philosophy, that as men we should go down the kind of solitude route, the single route, and focus on ourselves as a lone wolf in order to then get to a point where, you know, we can finally have what we want. And I honestly think the best way to do that is to pick, maybe not all at once, like I said, but 3 to 5 years before the age of 3 to 5 years before, ideally before the age of 30, but you know, if you can't do it, then before the age of 35, 36, the male advantage that I've spoken to you guys about before. I think at least 3 to 5 years during that time frame, you should stay away from women. You should sacrifice, you know, relationships, setting up relationships, spending money on women, the pursuit of women, which involves time, money, effort, mental waste, etc. If you're not going down that, if you want to be successful, you cannot go down that route as well. You know, there might be isolated times where you can have a girlfriend where, you know, socially I think it's good to do. I think it is good. I think it makes you better in a lot of areas. You know, most guys would be terrible in bed if they didn't have a girlfriend at some point. I think it definitely trains you up and allows you to experiment and be comfortable with somebody that you like or love, hopefully. But it's very hard for a lot of guys to, you know, to do that 3 to 5 year stretch. But I seriously think if you're serious about becoming a success, having the life that you want, I think at least 3 minimum, 5 maximum. Otherwise it gets, you know, if you can go longer, then fair enough. But I think 5, anything more than that might be unhealthy. But I think that's all you need is 3 to 5 years where you go, okay, no women, nothing to do with women, no Tinder, no going on Instagram and even looking at pictures of women and be like, damn, that's a fat ass. Cut all of that out and just focus on nothing but you, yourself, and just dedicate to a business, to a 9-to-5 job in the gym, like whatever it might be. You know, get rid of porn, get rid of masturbation, everything. You should be doing that anyway, but get rid of that guaranteed in those 3 to 5 years completely and just go for it. Just dedicate to nothing else. Because I truly believe that the average man could be a fucking millionaire in their sleep, but they're so worried about women, where the next shag's coming from, porn, masturbation, that when they do these things, they have little energy left, they have little time left, and then they end up destroying what they could have been. You know, it's unfulfilled potential for a lot of guys. And the only thing that I can see that is a blockade to that, because everybody has, you know, the skills inside them to, you know, humans aren't that smart. You know, the average human, the smartest human in the world and the dumbest, there's not a massive difference between them, okay? There's not a giant IQ difference. We live similar lives in so many senses. So it's not like there's a difference between a cat and Elon Musk. Like, the difference is a lot shorter than that. So anybody can do it. But as Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich, men usually get to around about 40 and above before they achieve their greatest accomplishments in their life, because they're just driven by sex and they're just kind of using their energy in the wrong way, where they're wasting a lot of it. They're chasing women, they're wasting time, they're wasting money, they have all this sexual energy and they could use it for something great, and they go and masturbate and watch porn. And now they feel sleepy. Now they, you know, once you've had sex, you're like, well, you know, I'll take a day or two off. I won't be as passionate about life. If you haven't had sex for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, you don't masturbate, you don't watch porn, you're like a fucking lion. All you want to do is get up at 5 a.m. and conquer and accomplish and drive forward in life. When you limit yourself, women, when you limit yourself that sexual outlet, and it could be men as well, you know, if you're gay, limit yourself, men, limit yourself that sexual outlet. But in general, just stay away from the sex that you find attractive. You know, if you're bisexual, both, you know, limit yourself to all of it. Limit yourself to the sex, the dating, whatever. Let everybody go and live that life, the relationship life. Understand and realize that there's more to life than just this, and dedicate yourself to something that is going to then pay you back for years to come in so many senses. I mean, monetary, relations, socially, mentally. You know, you're going to grow, you're going to build as a person, you're going to find out who you are. Too many people are scared to spend time on their own, and I've never grown more than when I spent time on my own, and I've never had better results in a business sense or a physical sense in the gym when I've spent time on my own, and I've kind of distanced myself from women, the idea of a relationship, the pursuit of sex, and I've culminated all of that sexual energy and I've transmutated it into superior outlets, you know, things that can push my life forward, that can make things better. And especially when you're young, like 28 to 30, I'm sure there's tons of guys my age. I know there's friends of mine that are sleeping with beautiful women night after night, girls that they couldn't get when they're in their younger 20s, and they're loving it. They're having the time of their life. They want me to get involved. I don't think 30 is that old. I think 30 is a baby. You know, as a man, if you get to, let's say, 36, and now suddenly you start dating the most beautiful women in the world and they genuinely want you, that's probably worth the trade-off of going the majority of your life without these women, you know, because then that's you for the rest of your life, rather than, well, you know, foreseeable future of maybe 15, 20 years, which is much better than sleeping with girls that are like 5, 6s and maybe the occasional 7 when you're younger, because that's your upper limit. I'd much rather sacrifice 3 to 5 years, build something great, be in a position where I'm the high value outlier male, and then say, okay, I'm going to go and date my dream woman. I'm going to go and find her. Okay, now she actually wants me. Great, fantastic. That was a woman that I couldn't get before, and all the guys around me still can't get. Like, that's a much better trade-off for me. But I definitely think, especially in your 20s, teens and 20s, there's your 20s probably because teens are just, you know, it's quite a hard period of your life to know what you want to do. You might have figured out your kind of life aim by, like, let's say 23, and then from 23 to, you know, 24, let's say you waste a little bit of it sleeping with women, you're trying to still decide what you want to do, you're not serious yet, and then 24 to 27, you sacrifice 3 years, maybe you have a relationship for a year, and then from 28 to 29, you know, you have another year where you sacrifice no women, and then at 30, you know, get in a relationship with your perfect woman. That might be what you do, but I'm telling you, it's 3 to 5 years. 3 minimum, 5, you know, borders on unhealthy. But 3 to 5 years is what you should do if you can in your 20s, you know, if not 35 and under, where you sacrifice the pursuit of women, the pursuit of sex, etc. That can be used at any time. You could be 42 years old, do the same thing, go from being worth 10 million to worth 200 million. That's probably a plausibility. But and the great thing is most guys won't do this. Most guys won't want to do this. They won't have the discipline to do it. If you're the only one who can do it, like I said, guys, the amount of time you save, the money you save, the mental stress you save, and all of that you can put into one singular focus. Like, don't underestimate how important it is to focus on one singular thing in your life at any one time. Especially when you're young, you have energy and motivation to put into something, and you're driven by a higher source, which is sexual energy. Never underestimate that. Like Gary Keller said, the one thing that can boost your day, it can drive you forward. What's the one thing that you can do each day that makes your business life better, that can push you forward the most? Well, you're going to be doing that in a life sense for 3 to 5 years. That's enormous. And never underestimate the effects of having full focus and attention, money, time, etc. at any one given time in your life, all being pushed into one singular outlet. That will garner the greatest results you've ever seen in your life. And like I said, I truly believe what's holding that back the most for most men is the pursuit of women, their inability to control their sex drive, things like detrimental effects like porn, masturbation, etc., worrying about relationships, worrying about ex-girlfriends, checking up on what other people are doing. Cut all that out. Singular focus. Worry about you. Be selfish. Create a better life for yourself. Become an outlier male.